Hello everyone, welcome back to the new tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how I made this Dune harvester shot using Houdini and Nuke. So you can see on my screen, so this is the final output I'm playing, and this is the full Nuke script of this shot. So in this tutorial I'm going to cover the comp side, how I composite this shot. I will show you everything as I can, because there are so many things to cover in this video. So I will try my best to show you everything. I made this shot in Houdini, and one of my friend who model the harvester, and 90% of the models you see in this shot he made it, and rest of the things I did, texturing, lighting, rendering, and the passes and all, everything I did. Check the video description, so where you can see all the credits and the project file as well. So I will share the project file on my Patreon, the full Nuke script, and of course the EXRs. And if you just want the CG renders, it is available for free, so you can check the video description where you can download this EXR. Basically I'm sharing the renders for free, and if you want this full Nuke script, you have to check my Patreon. Again, thank you so much for watching. Let's start, and let me show you the full breakdown of this shot, how I go from A to Z. First thing first, let me show you the reference. Let me just pause this video and let me go to the last frame. So here you see the full environment. So we will start from here, and this is the full script. Let me go to the bottom where we have the reference. This is the actual movie reference, and if you compare with my shot, let me just compare. So this is the side-by-side comparison, and you can see it's pretty close. I just don't have the characters. I mainly focus on the environment, so that's my main goals, and I think I did very well. I made this balloon, I call this balloons, and the mountains is Houdini height fields, and the ground is just a plane. But all these models he made it, and so I highly recommend check his work and make sure follow him. Let's see the shot. So you can see this is the shot. I try my best to make it very close, and this is close I can get. So I think I can reduce the light. You can see we don't have that much light here compared to here. So I will do that after this tutorial has been recorded. So that's fine. This small thing I can fix very quickly. Other than that, I think this shot looks very good as of now. So let's see how I go from, let me show you the raw render so you can get the idea from this to this. So you can see there are so many things we need to check. I also did some retexturing. We are using Nuke 17. I will show you how I use that USD system in that, because I made this scene in Houdini with proper USD workflow. This is a pretty good opportunity to show you the Nuke 17 USD workflow. If I just add contact sheet, so let me show you the slap comp and this. We are going from A to Z like this, and if I play, so these are the two shots side by side with the raw render and the final output. First I will show you my asset backdrop, and then we will break down the script step by step. So this is the old slapcom. So you can see the harvester is have some issue here, but in the final there is no issue. That's fine. So I just need to re-render the slapcom and it will fix. But you can see this is the shot. Let's pause this. Let's go to the end. So this is our hero frame, and let me just quickly show you the breakdown, the single frame treatment. So I started from here. So you can see this. Let me show. So this is a slapcom, and then I started, this is my first, so I'm just rendering the whips. So from version 1 to we have till version 18. Version 18 is our final that we just saw. From here you can see the progress, how I'm progressing slowly, just to show you the breakdown. So you can see I'm adding a haze, then I'm more refining the haze, and you can see from here to here I'm just just adding more textures to the ground and refining all those things slowly. Every step you see some changes. Now here I refine that part, some more treatment in the background and the foreground as well. This floating ship, you can see from here to here it's completely changed the size, because that time I re-rendered this thing. It feels too long and this one feels too small, so I fixed that. You can see, so this much of change, and this platform as well I changed a lot. So in the end you will see it's changing here to here and changing a lot. In the end you will see this. Now we have this platform compared to here. There are so many things I re-render just to make this shot look good, and this is the final with the full camera motion. Let me show you what I did initially. I have this reference, so I want to do a camera tripod because I want this similar kind of camera motion. So I try Nuke. For some reason I'm not able to get the camera tripod because of this black bar, and I think the aspect ratio is not properly, it can't solve the camera. So what I did, I use one AI website where I did the camera track. I will provide a link. I'm not remember the name now, but I will provide a link so you can go and check that. I took that camera track, I refined the keyframe because it's not like you are getting 100% camera track based on this shot. Okay, so I refined that camera a lot. This is what you see here in the final we have. This is like a combination of using AI and refining myself. So this is the camera track, AI plus human touch. So we have this backdrop. Let's zoom in. So this much assets I have. This section is like for the layers. So I have many layers, everything is separated. Here I have the HDRI, these are the reference, and these are the, I'm using these to create all of these assets. So the mattes and the deep only, and the utility passes here, the the slap comps here, and here we have the smoke assets, some textures here, and in this side we have this USD system. I render this in Houdini, so I have a full USD workflow. Here I'm using this importing my scene, and I have this camera as well. All the layers are separated. Harvester. So I show this in my stream as well. If you check my stream, I have 4 streams comping the shot live. Okay, so you can check that. All these layers, see, we have here. First thing first, what I did some crop. So I added this crop node. So basically you can select any node and you can just press X and type auto crop. So what this will do, it will basically it will add that bounding box to your shot. Okay, that is very, very important to optimize your shot as much as you can. So that's why what I did, I added all this auto crop node to all of my shot. It's giving this animated keyframe, and I added this to utility passes and the deep. So 3 renders we have. So the AOV passes, you can see the AOVs where we have all these AOVs. We have the utility passes. So here we have cryptomattes, normal, and position, and all those passes. Then we have the deep, 3 EXR for each layer, and this side, and we have this ground with the shadow as well. So it's a full shadow for all those assets, and this platform, this front platform, and this FG one. So this is the front one. Then what I did, I deep merge all of them one by one. So if I go till the end, we have this deep merge. So it's like a full shot recreated, merging all these layers. So this is our raw render. And this is, you can see, this is a deep matte. So I covered this topic in my lot of deep compositing tutorials. So here we are creating a matte. So we using this deep recolor matte. So it's available in Nuke Survival Toolkit, where you can download this one. It's available in Nuke Survival Toolkit. So it's very simple. You just add a name and just inject channel. So it's basically using alpha channel of this and creating a new channel called crane, whatever the name you given. And I did same for all those layers here. Once you merge them one by one, it automatically get hold out. So if you go to the end, go to deep to image, if I select any layer, barrel, and if I just cycle through, you can see all these mattes I have, and you can see it's hold out with the front one. Whatever it's coming in front, it will get hold out based on the deep value. So that way I have a deep matte for all the layers. So you can see for the ground it's holding everything, and we just have this. So we'll use this to now do the holdout. This is a deep compositing, and we are using the holdout mattes to merge all those layers. So you can see. So after rendering, I have this stamp, and I created one stamp, and you can see these things that we are using in everywhere, mostly in this CG rebuild area. Similarly, in this side, I render this as a slap comp and adding one constant as a sky, and just this is our slap comp. So that slap comp you see. So this is just a slap comp for all those layers. Then I merge all the deeps. So these are just a deep. So we have a deep combine. So let's go here and see. So this is the full deep. So we can use this to do the holdout for our 2D elements. So that's why, and you can see I use this many times in the script. Here, as I said, I have those 2 reference, but this IMAX one is, the colors are off, but I can see where I want to place all these elements. But this is the final clip from the movie, and this is the actual color you see. So these are the 2 reference which I have in the bottom, and this is HDRI which I'm using. And in this site we have this utility passes. So I'm combining all the utility passes because it's a separate one. So if I show you at the end, this is very similar like what I did here, combining all these layers and creating a slap comp. Similarly, I'm combining all these utility passes to make a final utility pass. So it have everything. So for example, depth, this is the real depth. So this is the depth extra. All right, like that. And then we have this position and all those passes. So I'm using this combined utility passes as well in the script. You can see there are some places where I use this. And then this USD side. So this USD is very, very interesting. So I created these 3 stamps for the USD, and this is the main USD scene. Let me just talk about a little bit about the USD workflow in Nuke 17 and how it's gonna change everything and how I use that in this particular shot. You can see this is my entire scene, very heavy. So to load your USD scene, you have a few options. You have this geo import, so and you have the geo reference. So in Houdini as well, we have this kind of node called reference, but in Nuke they added this name called geo for all the USD based node. So you know the difference, the reference node, and in Houdini we also have a sublayer where we can load USD file, but in here we just have this geo import and the reference. In the same thing, you just load your USD file. So I'm just copy pasting this entire USD path, and it will open this scene graph. So see this scene graph, it's very similar what I assemble in Houdini. So this is exactly showing me the structure, how I structure my shot. So let me just close everything so you can see. So this is how I structure my shot in Houdini. In the geo we have all the geos, and in the render camera we have a few cameras. I have two cameras, one is the IMAX, one is the normal camera, and in the lights we have the lights. So I just have one light. If you go to the geo, we have all these scatter, balloon, front, box, ornithopter, floating shape, mountain shape, crane, ground, platform, front panel, all those. So if you open, you can see all the prototypes and everything. You can see materials and all. So this is a USD one. So this is a USD. You can isolate whatever you want. So if I select here mesh, so it will only show me the meshes. So here I can select, for example, let me just disable. In this case, I just want what we call this ornithopter. I will select that and we'll hit OK. It will load. Actually, it is gonna load because this geo import is full scene. But if you want specific thing, so in that case, you need to use this geo reference. Let me just paste the same path here. Okay, and you can see there is no pop-up and you can't see anything here, because in order to this thing work, you need to select your prim path. You click here, it will show you the same graph what we saw before, but here I can select, for example, I want that ornithopter, and if I select this here and if I load, now I can load, now I can see my ornithopters in the scene. I hope you can see that. So this is the ornithopter what I have in Houdini. I can see it here exactly the same, and it is on animate obviously. So this is the way I load the scene. And to load the camera, here is a very interesting thing. You can take the camera. This is the new camera, and it have a lot of settings here. So you can see there is an option called live read and everything. So in order to this thing, we need to connect the scene input to your geo reference or your geo import. And from here you can select your prim to automatically isolating the camera, and I want this IMAX one. I will select this IMAX camera and hit OK, and it's connected. Now it's live connected, and now my camera is working. So I can go to my camera and I have the same camera animation now. It's live. Okay, if I remove, it will not gonna work. So I can just connect this one. Now it will gonna read live connected, and I can come here. I can override. I can set value. I can just override focal length, or I can just no change. So it will referring everything from this scene. If you want to bake this, press the snapshot range and you have that keyframe baked in. So this way you can have a camera with the full keyframe, but I prefer to keep it live. So in here I am not baking anything. It's all live connected to the scene. And here I have few geo references which I'm isolating. Like for the ground, I want ground geo, and this side platform, and this floating ship as well. I want to do some texturing. That's why I isolated here. And in this side I have this ground where I created I want to do some texturing for the ground. So for that, what I'm doing, I'm just projecting a UV. So this is like a UV project, and I'm using the camera to project the UV from top to bottom. With the new scanner render, I have basically I created this STMAP node. Let me just show you the STMAP. So this is the STMAP which I created, and something is wrong, but at the end you will see this is the STMAP what I have. I'm not sure what is going on here. So basically I'm using this geo to create a STMAP. Something is now it's working. I need to just reload that. So you can see, so this is the STMAP which I use to project the texture basically. So these are the assets. So I think it's took a very long time to explain this thing. So I will explain this one box. It's just copy pasting everywhere. For the ground, we have this, and we just doing a CG rebuild. So the CG rebuild, what I did a very simple thing. I have few lights here for the sky. So this is the light I have. So the sea sky, and I have the sea sun. So these are two lights I have, extracting all the shader passes. So this is just a albedo. Then we have this diffuse direct, diffuse indirect pass, and the glossy direct and glossy indirect. Similarly, I have a direct diffuse sky, direct diffuse sun, direct diffuse indirect diffuse sky, indirect diffuse sun. And then in this side I have this glossy reflection sky, a glossy reflection sun, and then indirect reflection sky, indirect reflection sun. I will just draw and show you what's going on here. So let me just draw the box. The shader rebuild passes I have. So in here, so I have this light passes. So these are the two light passes I have. Then I have this shader passes. So this is the shader passes. Idea is if I want to change any light passes, I can just change it here in this side. And if I want to change any based on the shader, I can do some changes here and here. So the idea is this passes is have a breakup of these. Then we have a breakup for each light here. So all these passes have a breakup of this side. Okay, so it's like a chain system. If I show you here, if I merge, if I show you the combination, like if I merge these two passes here, here you will see the beauty rebuild. Here you also going to see the beauty rebuild. Here you also going to see the same beauty rebuild. Then after building all these beauty rebuild, I'm just doing some divide operation here, and then I'm merging them here one by one. If I show you here, if I just view here, you can see. So this is also a shader rebuild, and if I view it here, this is also a shader rebuild. This is also a shader rebuild. So all these layers are merging together, so I can have a proper beauty pass. So here, if I show you here, if you see this thing and this thing, it's gonna look the same. And if I view from here to here, it will look gonna same, because this is just a beauty layer. And after merging them one by one, I just copy the alpha and I did a divide operation, divide with the original, so I can have a difference. So I can do any difference, and I can just with this multiply and multiply. And here as well, same thing, just combining all these layers here, this thing as well. Okay, and just plusing them, copy and pre-mult, and just doing a divide and just multiplying them one by one. So at the end, I'm just recreating the beauty with all these layer merging. Of course, I have this correction, that's why it's not gonna match. But in the live stream, I show all these things. So if you want to see this, you can check the live stream. Then I did some correction, as I told you, I want to do some texturing in the ground. So for that, what I did, I use my albedo path here, which I have here, and just dividing here, so I can remove the texture. So here I'm just removing texture, so I can only have a light, and then I can add that textures here like this with the multiply. So this is the albedo we have, and on top of, I'm just adding textures. So for example, I added this line, then this texture, I hope you can see. Let me just increase, so this one, and slowly I'm adding more textures. So all these textures I'm using this new USD workflow. So for example, in this I have this texture. So this texture is coming from the Megascan soil ground, and I'm just making it a little bit dark, and I'm using that STMAP that we created for the ground, using the STMAP node to just projecting this one, copying the alpha and using this ground utility to create a ramp like this, and removing that extra thing and just masking it in the distance with the multiply and the constant in the back, so I can multiply the whole thing on this albedo pass. Then just overing few more textures. So same thing here, this time I'm just overing the texture. So I have this texture here, and it's very big. So what I did, I used the tile node to tile this, did little bit transform, and now I have this texture. Same thing, removing in the distance, doing some grading and color matching, and just overing them one by one. So this is this texture, right? Then again, I adding more texture like this, so let it load. Then here few more. So in here I can I'm adding these lines. So how I'm adding these lines, it's very simple. In this side I'm using this noise. You take the noise draw, or not this one, noise draw, and you can just break this, and I think you can can do this like this and increase in the Y. So you can just increase so many times and you have that line. So it's very simple. That's how I get the line, just adding more contrast, tiling it because I want tiny line, because without that tile node I can get very big line. So the tile node is very helpful. Blurring this one because I see some issues here, so I'm just blurring the STMAP and using the STMAP to project the texture. It's doing some masking, same like removing from the distance. So we have that ramp using the position pass, so like that. Some more grading and some more treatment, so you can see. And here I'm also masking in that area, and this thing is getting over here. So we have this now you can see these are the lines I added. Cool. Then in this side we have a few more things. We are using this same layer for the texturing and adding some more elements on top of this one. So this is another texture I have, and using same STMAP to projecting on this, and just placing it here, masking it, doing some grading, and and here in this side as well I have one more texture, so I'm just making it dark like this and putting it all. So basically mixing these two texture together and just placing this texture in front like this. Then I have this line. So in the reference I will show you quickly. In the reference you can see we have this line going on in the scene, so that line I want to add. So this is that setup. So it's just a constant, and with the rectangle I created these two lines like this, and some filtering using this sticky projection. I basically use my position pass to project it on the ground. So now I have this line, and breaking with the distance and doing some grading and just overing here. So if I do the expose up, now you can see we have that line going on in the distance, which is really good. And then I did the pre-comp. It's matching one to one. So now this is the pre-comp with the line and everything. So these are the retexturing. If I compare with this default albedo, so this albedo is like this, and we did this much of retexturing. Now this everything is gonna multiply on our ground. So here is multiplying, and then this is the result you see here. So before we just have this type of ground, now we have this type of textured ground, doing some ground, and here we are using that matte that we created. So these are the HoldOut matte. So I'm shuffling that ground matte, and make sure you add that red channel into the alpha, and doing unprimed here first of all, and copying the alpha, then doing pyramid. So now it's properly hold out, and with that hole, then did the pre-comp, and this is the pre-comp I have. Very same setup, shader rebuild for the other side. So in this side we have this mountain, very same setup. I will show you what I did different in this one. I saw the reference, and in the reference I want one more mountain in the middle. I thought let's do it in Nuke because this is very far, so no one gonna notice what I did here. So I took this mountain and I shifted here. So I mask out that mountain like this, and I did the transformation, and using that matte to stencil that part. And in this side I did the HoldOut Mattes using that deep HoldOut, and then I did the over. Because both are HoldOut, I can just over it here. So now I added one extra mountain in the middle and did the pre-comp. Then I have this stamp which I use somewhere here. Because these things are hold out each other, you need to merge it with this disjoint over mode. Otherwise you're gonna get some weird issues. I will show you this issue later, but make sure you do the disjoint over mode, not the over. Then in this side we just have this reformat, and just for the getting a reformat, so you can merge it in the A. So very similar. I'm merging all these layers together. So for example, this balloon and this, all these things are just merging one by one. And make sure you do the disjoint, otherwise I will show you what issue you're gonna get. So you will see this type of issue because it's hold out each other. If I show you the top layer, we already have this hole, then you are merging that layer to fill that hole, but still you're gonna see that because it's very transparent edge. That's why we need to do the disjoint over. It will gonna merge properly. So that's how you can merge all these layers, and at the end there are a few corrections which I'm gonna tell you later, but then you get this result. Let's go to the end. I did texturing part, like I did the retexturing on this side as well. Let's see where that. So this floating ship, you can see it's have a very weird repeated texture. So very similar. I'm using that USD system to do the texturing. So where I did the texturing, in this case I did the texturing in the diffuse side. So we have this diffuse direct and we have this diffuse indirect. So I'm replacing the texture from here using my albedo to do the divide. Now there is no texture, only the light. Then I have this albedo here where I'm doing multiply, and before doing multiply I'm just doing some desaturation, adding textures using this USD system. So I have this my floating ship here as a USD file. So you can see, so there are two ones. So one is just for the shadow, and this is the one you want to see in the camera. Then I'm using this texture and tiling them few times and doing a geo bind to apply that material here. Now you can see it's applied on that in the shape. Let's view from the scanline so you can see it better with the proper high rates. I don't know why, but this thing little bit slow because maybe it's a very early version of Nuke 17. Now hopefully in the upcoming versions of Nuke 17 it gets faster and better, but as of now this is the texture you get. It's pretty good. So what I did, I did some light, I just darkened this part, and in this, using this utility passes to add a noise using this AP matte, you can just go here and you can just, by the way it's off, you can just turn on, you get the noise. And from here I did a stencil to remove noise in some area, and in the albedo I just over it here because I match the color, otherwise it is looking very bright. So matching the color, now we have a texture breakup. Before it looks very flat, repeated, now it's breakup. Now you can see it's not repeated now. Then I did a multiply. Now you see the difference. So you break the texture like this, and then all the passes are coming on top. Copy alpha, divide, and here I did the multiply. Now some brightness and hold out, and this is the retexturing part. So similarly I did the retexturing on so many things. I will show you one thing. So in this floating ship you can see these lines and everything. Let me show you that. So this harvester balloon don't have anything like that, but you see at the end, you see we have these lines. So how I added that lines, it's very simple, because I created because we have the utility passes, so we can use that. So we have this balloon harvester utility passes, and I created this and using this normal pass, because let me just show you. So we have this normal pass. So this one is like it's like a normal path, and then we have the normal shader. So here shading level normal path. In this you can see the polygons and all. So that is exactly what we're going to use, these polygon shapes. So using this normal rotate, you can just select that in G, and you can just rotate your light, and you have this kind of alpha. Then what I did, I used this edge detect to give me this more alpha. Don't worry about this bright thing, because it will gonna remove based on the alpha. Then I shuffle out to make it in RGB as well. Then I multiply this on top of my sunlight. So this is my sunlight, I just multiply it here. So now we have this kind of shapes. Then it is gonna merge with the skylight. So we have these lights. So we have these lines coming on. So which is pretty good. And why I'm adding this thing, because in the reference as well we have that line. We see this IMAX. Now you can see this type of lines we have. So I just want to add that in my balloon as well. So from here to here, if I show you the precom, we have that line, and this is our raw render, and this is our color corrected and the lines, and these are small things I did. And this side we have this sky is very simple. Same thing using this USD system. So we have this new geosphere, adding some transformation, geobind. In that geobind we have this HDRI. Before plugging HDRI, I did this much of correction to make it color like this, Dune style. Then geobind using scanner render, and we can only see this much area. Now you can see this much of color grading I did. So just let's go one by one. Desaturating, adding that warm color here, again desaturating and just exposing at the end how much I want. And then here just filling this area with the color. So in this side I want flat color, and in the other side as well I want flat color, because based on reference. And I did the precom, and at the end I think I did a little bit of exposure up. So if you see the IMAX, you can see it's almost flat. So that's why. In here I have some thing I will show you when we merging everything here. So this small part is for that harvester balloon. This harvester balloon with the crypto matte, you can see we have these wires here. Okay, so I took that alpha and I graded that plate to basically darken it, because at the end when I'm merging this thing, it's very tiny that we are not able to see this lines here. So I want to make it more visible. So that's why if you down your background and then when you merge this thing, then you're gonna see all these lines here, otherwise you can't see them. Then once I did all the corrections, so this is my base render. Okay, let me just move everything down so I will show you. So this is my base render. What I mean by that, in this base render I balance the shot. So I compare from this to my slap comp. Like, let's view it here. So see, from here to here, this much of balance I did. A lot of corrections and adding this mountain, retexturing some of these areas, ground and this part, and see this much of balancing. The shadow as well, it's now more darker compared to it's very light. So all these things I balance. So these are like a balance pass. So once I have, let me just move everything. Once I did a pre-comp. So this is the pre-comp. So now on top of that I want to add that Dune style look. First thing first, what I did this haze, just taking one constant, sampling that color from the reference. So you can go here and you can just sample this color. So I sample that color and I have that color here. So this correction I did later once I merge it here, this much brightness and all. Okay, that's fine. And this mask is based on the obviously the depth pass. In this side, let's see, we have this combined utility pass. If you remember, we merge all these layers and we have that combined pass. So that is exactly the thing we are using here. I'm using this depth to normalize the depth pass, 1 divided by Z. Then I'm using this depth slice to do the depth pass normalization. So where I want, basically you can do the same thing with the grade node. You can just connect this one here and view from here. You can just select your, maybe I want my white point to be here. Something is weird, it's not sampling, but you just have to sample these values and you can get the depth pass like this. Here I'm just gamma down, making it how I want, and this is with the depth pass. Then I did the multiply down. So this is like overall multiply down. Here I am just using this harvester alpha to removing the this harvester have a less haze, and same for the this left platform, and same for the mountain as well. I think, yeah, mountain is very less. Now everything is getting merged and we have this haze level. Okay, and then pre-mult, because I did unpremult here and did the pre-mult here. So this is the haze pass. Now if I disable these things, you can see too much haze, and here also we have some haze which I don't want because this is very close to the camera. So that's why. So balancing. Then we have this global CC. Now you can see how much the CC we have here, changing these things. Okay, so this is also some area wise changing, and this part as well. So here I'm adding more shadow, making it more dark. Okay, with the crown as well, because I'm going to add a smoke on top of that. So that's why. In here I am creating, let me just, so this part is for humans. So I'm creating a, if I show you the reference shot, here you can see we have those peoples, they are walking or doing something. So I added that in Nuke with just help of roto, but they are not moving at all, but that's fine, that's not the point. It's just a roto. I'm just drawing some roto like this. Okay, and just we have our match move camera. So just image plane, doing a little bit blur, stenciling with that front part, merging it here. So now we also have some people that we can justify the scale. Then little bit of glow and all. It's very subtle. Just over plussing it here. You're not gonna see that much. And then we have created one stamp for the CG. So from here I'm adding all these dust layer and everything in the scene. Let me show you how I add that. It's very interesting to see how I integrated using this USD workflow. So same thing, we have this card. So this is like a geo card, USD one, and we have these smoke layers. So all these smoke layer I have, I did some grading, some mirroring, and chrono and retime, basically just shifting it. And I have this noise here in this side, which I'm using to break this smoke a bit. Before I'm doing geo bind, I did everything here, so I can add more detail, you can see, and just removing some part that I don't like. For example, this side I don't like, so I just remove that part. Then adding this geo bind, so basically just now it's basically on a card. So same thing, just copy pasting multiple times. Now 3 layers I have in the scene, see, in the 3D space. Then we render this with the scanner render, and this is the scene we have. As I said, this USD workflow is like very heavy. I'm not sure why it's like that, but now you can see it's not rendering at all. That's not the case before, but that's fine. So once I have that render, now it's visible. So once I have that render, I'm just adding this deep crop to isolate this area. This is like another tip I can give you for the optimization, and I just animated this crop little bit, and I copy pasting this crop, this deep crop multiple times here. After this, I'm adding my deep blur, and this is like a deep all. So here we have that all the deep, and here I'm also adding a deep crop because I want only this part to be calculated when I'm doing holdout. So now if I do holdout here, if I remove my deep blur, it will look like this, but I want this kind of feathery look. Here I'm also adding this deep crop and just deep image. So it's all linked. So if I move one of them, it will update in all three. And then I did a precomp, and this is the precomp I have. By view, you can see how it looks. It's pretty good. It's well integrated and it looks nice. So, and basically sold out properly each other because we are doing a deep. So there is no issue. The only thing into manage is the timing and how it's flowing. So I like this part. So you can see it's pretty good. Then I did unpremult, doing some grading. So for the grading, I used that CG input what we created here. So using this CG input, doing my crop, the blur a bit, and then again crop, because when I do the blur, it's adding some bounding box which I don't want. So kill that, and basically we just converting this into the HSV color space and just copying the hue saturation. The value is same because the luminance I want to keep the same luminance, but I just want to change the color here. And here I'm animating the gradient as well. So convert linear to HSV here as well, convert linear to HSV, and just using this copy node to copy the red green from A input to B and keep the blue same, and then convert back, swap the input like this, and do the premult. So if I disable this, and if I disable this as well, so this and this look same, only difference is we just added the color with the copy node. Okay, so I'm just enabling this because I did some more changes. Okay, then in this shuffle I created this channel called the smoke one. So I'm using these channels here. I will show you what is this. Now this layer, and the same thing for the other layer, this layer as well, this layer as well, this layer as well, this layer. So many layers, and then I'm merging them one by one like this. Now you see the steps, this, and this one. So all these are deep merging and it's properly hold out. This looks nice. Then make sure when you're merging, you just add that smoke layer in all those also merge. When you view from here, we have that smoke layers here. What we are doing with that smoke layer, let me just disable this. And if I view from here, now we added that smoke layer. Let's enable these so you see some difference. The thing is, when you're adding a smoke, the area is getting bright. So if I see, now it's getting bright, which I don't want. So whenever you're adding a smoke, area should not get bright. It looks additive. You want the darkness, the density. So that's why we have to do some darkness. Otherwise it will look, now you see it's not looking that much bright compared to this. Here we have all those shuffle out layers, and we are basically just using that alpha to darken that BG. For example, this we are using the alpha to darkening that area where my smoke is coming. So in this side it will be like this much of dark, and then using this eye blur, because when you're adding a smoke, behind area also get little bit of blurriness. So using the eye blur with the value of 5 will work. Same thing for all the area, just copy pasting and just adding these things. So it will not gonna look additive. Dust kickup. So this is very interesting. I want to show you what I did here, but before, let me just show you the reference. To see it better in the reference, what I did the stabilization for the reference. If you watch the the ornithopter, you see when the ornithopter is going, we see some kind of dust in the ground because of that blades, right? Because the air pushing in the ground, we see some kind of dust is moving right in the here. So I want that in my shot as well, but it's not planned in Houdini, so I was not doing any simulation in Houdini, so I want to do it in Nuke somehow. So if I show you my version, if you see this, you can feel it. There is something in the ground when this is going. See, there is something, dust is flowing in the ground. So how I did that, pretty good to see. I'm using Nuke particle system to do that thing. Let me show you. So this is the backdrop for the dust kickup. Let me show you the precomps, one of the precomps. So this is the pre-comp, and you can see these are the Nuke particles. It's like this, and using these, this is what we did. So this is the final dust using that Nuke particle system only. Let it load. It's already pre-comp here, but I did so many operations here, that's why it's loading very slow. Yeah, so you can see, so this is the actual dust that I added. It's not perfect, but it's get the job done. We just want to feel it, there is something going on, because without this it's look like there is nothing in the ground, there is no interaction from the air. So this is what I have. So how I created this one, same thing, because I have a USD scene. So we have this geo with this ornithopter in the air. So what I did, I have this axis here. So this axis is connected to one of the ornithopter like this, and it's moving with it. So I will show you how I did that. Use that new axis, connect to the scene. You need to select one of the ornithopter, for example this. It is basically, now it is moving with that ornithopter. Now you can see, so this axis is now connected to this ornithopter, but the problem is it's connecting it's connecting at the back, but I want this axis to be somewhere here. That's fine. Now we can move that later, but the thing is, now we get the axis which is connected to this, but it's not baked, it's live link. Okay, just like our camera. So to do that, you just to press this snap range, and this will work. I think it will snap that. Yeah, now you can see, now we have, it's not live link, now live link automatically off. Now you can remove this. Now you have the animated axis which is matching with that ornithopter movement. So that is exactly what I did, but the problem is we can't connect this thing directly to the our emitter. It's not supported. That's the another catch. If you are using this USD, the particle system is not supported. So what I did, I used this axis and I created another axis which is a Nuke default axis, which is not USD, and just linking that translation here. So this way I can have this axis, the default non-USD axis, which is moving where my ornithopter is going. Okay, so I'm using this axis to move my sphere, because I'm using the sphere as an emitter, and with the geo transform, now it is moving. Now this is my emitter, is moving. So, and for the particle, I have this roto as my particle, and adding this blend mat. Make sure you add that blend mat and set the mode to modulo. And in the particle emitter, so this is my emitters. So it's pretty simple. Now you see it's moving like this in the scene, and see, so this is my ornithopter path. What I did for, let's view pause here, and added a gravity. So now the particles are falling. Then added this particle bounce. So this will add a ground plane, and it will like basically bounce my particle, so I can have that ground interaction. Okay, so that's the idea, but you can see it's pretty uniform. It's not look like a proper dust or something. First thing first, in this particle bounce, what I did, I created some channels. So if you don't know, in the particle system you can create some channels, and then you can use those channels to to do some changes. I will show you what I did here. Once the particle hit in the ground, these are the new particles, so I'm assigning one layer for them. So in the here you can see I'm assigning the B layer. Now I have this turbulence. Now this turbulence, you can see, it's only applying on this ground particle, which is not applying here. So that's why you can see it's also calling B. So you can go any of this turbulent node, you can go to the condition. Here by default is set all. Now it's applying to all, but I don't want all, make it none. Then you can select your B. So now it's applying only the particle which is hitting on the ground. Okay, now I'm adding some turbulence. Now with this particle curve, I use many times. You can see it's very good node. You can do so many things in this particle curve based on the time. As this is moving, this particle need to get smaller, basically removing some particle. Okay, if I go to the size, so this is my curve. If I move it, you can see it's increasing. Okay, but I want like this, so I just this is my curve for the size. If I need to enable here, it will like this, and if I go to the condition, and this is like a for the all. Okay, and another particle curve, this is just for the applying for this whatever the particle is falling from the top. making its size a little bit smaller. Same thing for the size. And this is my curve, and if I go condition, channel is only A. Now another particle curve. So this is for the color purpose. Now you can clearly see this red particle which is hitting on the ground, it has a different color. And go to the condition, selecting my channel B particles, and in the red green I'm just assigning color. So red is 1, green and blue is 0 0. So similarly I did for the which is particle is emitting, and then I'm rendering this thing through the scanner render. And this is the base particles system I have. I want some distortion in here, and I don't want little bit, and I don't want distortion much here. So this is the setup. So similarly I have another setup here, and if I show you at the end, we have particle like this, just reducing the gravity so I can get this kind of curve. Then I'm rendering these things and doing some multiply, reducing the value, because once I merge, you see we have this kind of look. So this is what I have. So that's why I added these things here. So I can, and also I can remove based on the channel. So for example, I can just select my green, and it will only removing from the green. So I can see, you can see now, you can see the green is less in this one, so I can merge it here like this, both on the screen mode and just shuffling them out to green getting into alpha. Here also I'm shuffling, and this is the red particles, all the red. Then doing some grading, separating them to grade, separating and grading, just merging them and overall grade. Doing some blobby things, just filter eroding this one. This is another filter erode, it's another filter erode, and just screen them. So now I have this kind of particle system. Doing some clamp, some blur. Now you can see the blur. When you add blur, it looks good, I mean kind of smoke. Then doing unpremult and adding that color that we want. And after that color, what I add here is using this noise. It's animating. Okay, this is advanced noise. You can get it from Nuke Survival Toolkit. And here you can go to the this speed of the, you can increase that and it will animate. Adding a bit of contrast, just multiplying this one. So now you can see, we see some kind of smoke is moving. Exactly, I'm looking, it's not perfect, but it's get the job done, and it's feel like this is like a smoke. And then I'm just doing some transformation, little low transformation, making it blur and just under it. Okay, and this is like overall multiplier, and in this side we have some mattes for that, so you can do the stencil operation like this, so you don't see that smoke in front. And also we have this our ornicopter here, so everything is getting stencil. Then just merging everything on our BG. It's very subtle, but when this is moving, that time only you can see. So that's how I added that smoke layer. It's pretty good. You can use that Nuke particle system to think a little bit of different, and you can create this kind of look. And also you can use that USD workflow. That's why I added here. Cool. Then this is another just a dust, same setup that we saw, just dust here added. That's it. All these dust layers, if I compare with the raw render we have here, the main precom, so from here to here, this much of stuff we added, and it's already looking good. Now let's move forward and see what else I added. And this is a tint, so I'm just changing a little bit tint based on the reference. And then this is a light trap that we need to add little bit of light trap, so it will integrate in the scene. It looks weird here, but that's fine. But it is like this, so it is like this. Okay, we did unpremult. Okay, and this is light trap that we have, and just placing it here and doing a premult. So this is what we have. Then at the end I did the blacks. So for the blacks I just lifted a little bit, not that much stuff, but I have the mask input. I did the blacks based on depth. So that's why if you see at the end, you see more lifted compared to the FG. So that's my idea. So little bit of thing, and then everything is getting merged with that BG, the bright BG that we have here. So based on now, you see the light trap, how it works. This looks good. Previously it looks like very cut out in this side. Now this looks integrated this side as well. The harvester. Now after merging, now we have some lens effects. Let's talk about this lens effects. Lens effects, one of my favorite topic. So I explain everything here. Now let's see the lens effects. So first what I added is the heat wave. So because this scene is desert and I think there is a heat wave, so I did a little bit of heat wave using this heat wave node and just key mixing it because I don't want heat wave front in this platform. So just keep mixing it, so it will only affect in the back. That's the idea. Then we have this distortion. So what I did a little bit of distortion to that entire shot, but you're not gonna notice, it's very subtle. So here are the softness. So if I zoom in here, I did some sharpness, then softness, and a little bit adding a blur. So this way we just breaking that CG look little bit, then adding a diffusion. So this is like overall diffusion that we're adding on top, and adding a crop because that diffusion is increasing bounding box, which I don't like. So just cropping it. Then chromatic, very subtle chromatic. We don't want to do too much like this, you can see. Then vignetting. So this is very interesting when I'm adding vignetting. So usually I use just one vignette node and that's fine. That's enough. But in this case, if I show you that IMAX res, we see some darkness in the corner like this. Okay, which I like. You see, to add that in my scene, I use another vignette node, and now you see we have that darkness. Okay, it looks more dark, but we have some lens distortion. So I'm going to view from there, and you see now it's very less, but we have some darkness just like in the reference. Okay, basically just increasing the vignette amount here, and just keep mixing it, and lens distortion, and at the end we have this grain. So this is like a very normal spin effects grain. You can see that. Let me just show you the grain. Not much, very subtle grain. And then this is the shot, guys. So this is the final shot. I will reduce this brightness a bit, I guess, because this looks, compared to this, it looks more intense. So let's do it, and let me show you how I'm gonna do that. So let's go to that platform. Where is that platform? So left structure. So this. So we have the sunlight, and we have this skylight. So when you merge, this is the main light that we have, and I can reduce it from here. I can add one grade, and I can just reduce like this, and you can see it's already looking pretty good. I think I can reduce 0.8. Now if I view here, let me keep it live, and in this side also I did some retexturing in this area, because previously this part is not looking good. If I show you see this texture repeats. So this is what I did. I just break that texture completely. I mean completely I replaced that texture here as well. Okay, same thing using that mattes and ID. Let me explain. So where I added, yeah, this. So these are the texture part. Similarly with the diffuse one and with the albedo pass, I have that texture in this side using that USD, same USD, and geo binding texture on that particular area, because I have that full scene and I want to geo bind on that specific prim. So I'm using selecting the prim here from this drop down. So only this area get texture, and using my cryptomat to remove that extra thing. I just want to keep that texture area, and then adding some noise and using that texture here and doing multiply. So I have this texture here. Same for this other part as well. Basic texturing in Nuke. If I disable, you can see it looks stretch here, and this looks repeated. Now it looks much better. So if I see in the precom, this is the textures. So let me do one single frame here, just re-render this, and you can see at the end. So I will do the full frame offline just to see the final look, how it looks when we darkening this bright part. Okay, now this looks dark. Let's render the final pre-comp as well. I think this is looking good. Let's re-render this one as well. Refresh. So now let's go at the end, because now there is no pre-comp in between. So before and after, so it looks like this. I think this looks good. So I will keep this one as well, and let's compare this with the reference. So this is the previous one, which is more brighter. Now we reduce that amount. So I think, yeah, see, I think this looks good. So it's more balanced. So we'll keep this one. I will re-render, and this is my final shot. So that's how you can do some changes. And I think this is enough. Let me just play the shot one more time. So guys, so this is my Dune harvester journey. If you want to see the Houdini side, let me know. I will show you the full Houdini file and everything, how I assemble the shot, how I did the texturing, and everything is there. But this is the com side. There are so many things which I want to cover, but in full detail, it's very hard. The video will get very long. So it's better you to download this project file, and you can do reverse engineering, how I did that and how you can implement in your shot. And make sure you download the CG renders. It's available for free. Just for the script, you need to check my Patreon. You need to become my member to have that, because this took me a very long time to assemble the script. And this is how I work. You can see this script is very well organized, so you don't have to face any issue. If you are facing any issue, make sure you go to the top and just check the asset. Just replace the asset. Maybe when you download the project file, there are some paths are missing, so make sure you just add that asset in the top, and everything will get automatically updated in the bottom of the script, so you don't have to worry about. And I think you need to also do the pre-comp. I'm not going to provide you the pre-comps here in all these CG rebuild. I will try to keep the project file small as possible, so that's why I'm removing the pre-comps. So make sure you download and do pre-comps, and if you see any missing files, make sure you check here and check is that file available in the folder or not. If that file is available, make sure you just load in your read note, and then everything should work. So let me know in the comment what you think, and if you face any issue, come to my Discord and ask me. I will try to help you. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in a very next one. Have a great day.